Alright guys, my name is Shervin. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the Platinum Card and whether it's actually worth the substantial fee that you pay for it or not. Now, this is going to be the most comprehensive video when it comes to the Platinum Card. We're going to go through every single little detail that might come up, every little thing you need to know about the card. There's so many little things, so many little details, so many little features, benefits, and things that you can use if you have the card. And it's important to go over all of these so that you can get an idea of whether it's actually worth having this card and paying that substantial fee. Now, I myself have had the Platinum Card for a while. In fact, I've had both the business version and the personal version. So I have had quite a lot of experience with the card, and I can speak to exactly which features work really well, which ones maybe could be a little bit better. And also I can talk to how often I've been using each of those and what my overall thoughts are on the card. Now, given the fact that I do own the card, that probably tells you that I am enjoying it quite a bit and I do find it valuable. And I'm going to go over why that is and whether it will be the same experience for you or not. Now, I want to make this very clear. This card is definitely not for everyone. This card is a traveler's dream card. If you are someone who travels regularly, like for myself, I travel like 2-3 times a year. And if that sounds like something you do, then this card definitely is worth taking a look at because it offers so many amazing features that may actually be very beneficial for you. But if you don't really travel all that often, maybe you travel once a year or once every other year, then at that point, you're not traveling enough for it to really be worth getting this card, because a lot of the features that this card offers are very travel oriented. And of course, we're going to go over all the different features right now. I'm here on the Amex website and we're taking a look at the page, and I want to go through everything that they say on there point by point and share my experience with each of these and what I found to be very useful and what I haven't really found is as good as it can be or could be made a little bit better. Now, the sign-up bonus is absolutely amazing. I mean, 70,000 points if you spend a certain amount in the first 3 months. Now, here it says you need to spend $10,000 in the first 3 months. Now, of course, the sign-up bonuses change from time to time. This is what's being offered right now. At different times, if you're watching this video a couple months from now, this might be slightly different. So just take a look at the Amex website. As always, I leave a link to all of these down in the description below. You can just check it out there and see what the current offer is if this is not there anymore. But as of this recording, they're offering 70,000 points. And remember, Amex points are always worth at the very minimum 1 cent per point if you're redeeming it from Amex, because you can always just redeem it towards a statement credit on your card at 1 cent per point, right? Now, there are ways to make them more valuable than that, and that's what I suggest to a lot of people, is to try to redeem them towards travel through partners, because by doing that you can get a lot more value than just 1 cent per point. You can probably find a lot of good deals where you can get 2 cents per point, maybe even more than that from your points. So that's what I would suggest. But at the very bare minimum, you still can get the 1 cent per point just from statement credits, right? So if you just assume you only get the bare minimum with the statement credits, 70,000 points is $700, right? So right there, that's an amazing sign-up bonus. Now, the card does cost a lot, does cost $800 a year to own. But given the fact that you get $700 worth of statement credits, and again, that's if you use the points in the worst way possible, that means that you basically get the first year for free just from the sign-up bonus, right? So right there, that's a lot of amazing value. And of course, again, you can get a lot more than that if you redeem it from the partners, which we're going to go more in depth in a little bit. You also get another 30,000 points if you spend anything on the card. Basically, if you still have the card up and running a little over a year after you open up the card. So basically, it's like it's a little bit more of a bonus for you to keep it for the second year, basically. And they give you 30,000 points as long as you make any purchase, even if you just buy like something that costs $1 or something, in between the 14th and the 17th months of card membership. So that's after a year and 2 months of owning the card. You have 3 months to just make one purchase, and at that point, you get another 30,000 points. And again, if you use that towards statement credits, which is the worst way to redeem it, you get the equivalent of $300 basically. So again, you're getting a lot of value to keep the card for a second year as well. So the sign-up bonus is very good. If you have trouble spending the $10,000, some people sometimes say this, that, oh, $10,000 in the first 3 months, that's a lot of money. I completely understand that. I know that most people don't spend that much regularly. That would be like over $3,000 per month that you're spending. And people don't usually spend that much, not unless they have a family or something. If that's the case, you can always do a number of things. One is that you could always put your rent on the card. Now, before you object and say that, wait a second, my landlord doesn't accept credit cards, that's okay. There's a service called Chexi, which allows you to pay for your rent through your credit card. So the way it works is that you pay them with your credit card and they pay your landlord with cash. And they do charge a small fee, but again, given the amount of value that you get from the sign-up bonus, if you are struggling to get there, it's a very small fee to play. It's like a little bit over 1%. And if you just pay a little bit over 1% on just 1 month or 2 months worth of rent, that could help you push you over the 10,000 and you can get the 70,000 points. And that will be very well worth it for that 1 or 2 months to make sure you get that amazing sign-up bonus. So in that sense, if you are struggling to qualify for that, you could do that. But really, even that's not necessary. You could always just charge a lot of the things that you're going to purchase anyways in advance. So for example, if you're going to go on a vacation next year to, let's say, Europe, you can just buy the tickets right now. You probably get a better deal for buying in advance, and you also get to spend that amount right now so that you can qualify for the sign-up bonus. If you need to buy, I don't know, a specific suit or a specific dress for an event that's coming up, you can just do it right now, put it on your card. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do right now, which are things that you have to spend on anyways in order to get over that $10,000 limit. Now, if even with any of these, you still can't get over the $10,000 amount, then maybe this card just isn't for you, because this card costs $800 to own a year. And if you can't find a way to put $10,000 on it in the first 3 months, and that's putting your rent on it, after putting all the other expenses, all the travels that you have for the next year or two, booking all the events that you want to go to, any concert that's coming up, any event that's coming up, buying any clothes or doing any amount of expenses that you have for the next year, if you can't put them all on the card and still get over 10,000, then maybe at that point, this card just isn't for you. So just keep that in mind. But I think most of us can easily get it over 10,000 in the first 3 months just from our normal spendings. Plus, if you can put rent on it, plus if you can book some stuff in advance, some events in advance, some vacations in advance. Just by doing that, you should be able to get over the $10,000 amount. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this card does cost $799, basically $800 a year to own. And it doesn't have any preset limits. Now, let me explain what this is. So this card, technically speaking, is not a credit card. It is a charge card. It is a credit card. It's called a charge card. And the reason for that is because it doesn't have a preset limit where like, for example, if you have a credit card, they say, okay, the limit on this credit card is $10,000, right? So you can't spend more than $10,000 on it. With the Platinum card, it's not quite like that. The way it works is that you have the card, you can put your expenses on it. But if you're going to spend a huge amount on a specific purchase, there's a part in the Amex app and also on the Amex website where you can go and say, get pre-approved for that spending, right? So like, for example, you want to buy a specific thing that costs, let's say $10,000. Let's say you want to buy a Rolex or something. I don't know. You can just go on the app, and there is a particular place for it, for getting approved for spendings, and you can just put in $10,000, right? And based on your history with them, based on how long you've been a customer, and based on what they know about your credit history and all of that, they either approve it or they don't, right? And in my experience, they pretty much always approve it as long as it's within reason. If you put in something really crazy, like put in $1 million, of course they're gonna reject that. But as long as it's within reason, right? Like if you normally spend a couple $1,000s on the card, and then one particular month you want to buy something that costs $10,000-$12,000, it's usually okay. They usually just say, yep, go for it. And for that reason, it is the way it is set up. But I assume if you just overdo it or something, or you do it crazy outlandish amount. Like if you do $50,000, maybe they don't. The highest I've tried on the app was I just want to see if it approves it or not. I didn't even want to buy anything, but I just tried $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, and for me, it declined me at $40,000. So anything up till there that I tried, it just approved me. So it said, yeah, you can spend that, right? So of course, this is going to be different from person to person. I normally only spend like a 1,000 to 2,000 probably on the card every month, something along those lines. But I don't know if that's, I do have very good credit history, to be fair. My score is very close to 800, so maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe for others, it won't be as easy, but that's just been my experience, right? So just sharing with you guys what I've seen. And of course, if you spend more and you have a good credit, then they can probably approve you for even more, right? Like if you usually spend like $10,000 on the card every month, they probably can approve you. I'm guessing, I don't know this, but I'm guessing they would approve you probably for like up to 100,000, I'm guessing, if you want to spend on one purchase. But that's just my experience, what it has been with. Of course, they don't tell you exactly how they approve or disapprove. A lot of this is with algorithms and stuff like that, and also based on what they know about you and how frequently you pay off your credit card, how fast you pay off your credit card, what your credit history has been. But that's just been what I've found, what my experience with the card has been. Now, for additional cards, so this is cards that you want to get for your spouse, your brothers or sisters, someone like an assistant who you trust them to spend the money for you and get the stuff that you need. For those additional cards, you can actually get 2 gold cards for free under this platinum card. So if you get a platinum card and you want to add 2 additional cards to it, if it's a gold card that you go with, you can get 2 for free, basically. If you want to add platinum cards, it'll be $250 per card. And if you want to add more than 2 gold cards, for every card after the first 2, it's going to be $50 a year to own, which is fairly reasonable. Now, the points, we get to the points, and this is the one area where I think this card could improve on a little bit. And that is because, even though it offers so many amazing features that we're going to go over in a second, the amount of points that you earn per dollar does leave a little bit to be desired. I do think it could have been a little bit better than this, especially given the fee that you're paying for the card. Now, you get 2 points per dollar for dining, food delivery, all that stuff. Basically restaurants, bars, coffee shops. You get 2 points per dollar on travel, but 1 extra point if it's through Amex travel. So you can get basically 3 points per dollar spent on travel if you book it through Amex. And you also get 1 point for everything else, right? So for everything that you spend on this card, you get at the very least the 1 point. Now, is this good? It's not the worst, but there are cards like the Cobalt card, for example, that offer so much more points on categories like dining, bars, coffee shops, restaurants, all that stuff. The Cobalt card offers 5 points per dollar spent, and the Cobalt card only costs like $150, $160 a year to own. So I just don't see why this card couldn't offer at least a little bit better than this, right? Like, I understand if you want to differentiate the cards, and this is more the feature card instead of the points, but you could at least give like 3 points per dollar spent, right? And it actually used to be 3 points like a year or 2 ago. I'm not sure why they decided to change that. I think they could have just kept it to 3, and I think that would have been fine. But yeah, I do hope they revise this in the future and they just give a little bit more points on, at least on dining, right? And also maybe include groceries in that as well. But as it stands, we don't get this card for the points that we get per dollar spent. We get it more for all the amazing features. So it's not the worst thing in the world, but I do think they could improve in that sense. Now, let's get into the features. Now, this card, as I mentioned before, costs $800 a year to own, but you do get a lot back almost right away. Now, you have a $200 annual travel credit, which means that if you book any travel, like whether it's flights, hotels, car rentals, whatever, as long as you do it through the Amex Travel, you get $200 a year in travel credits, right? So basically in a statement credit that comes and lessens the amount you have to pay. So for example, let's say you book flights for $1,000 to Europe and you do it through Amex Travel. Basically what you do is you only pay $800 because it comes on your statement, $1,000 spent on these flights, and then you get a $200 travel credit that is applied. So your balance will be only $800. Now, it is something that a lot of people point out that you do have to spend it through Amex Travel. And is that the best way to spend money when it comes to booking travel? And what I found is that actually it's a very good platform to use. I do use Expedia a lot because I find that they usually have very good deals. But what I found is that if I look through Expedia and I also look through Amex and also Google Flights, at different times, different platforms have the best deal. So for example, sometimes just looking it up on Google gets me the best deal on a flight. Sometimes Expedia gets me the best deal. Sometimes Amex Travel gets me the best deal. So it is definitely a good platform because it's not like, oh, they always upcharge you or anything like that. But at the same time, of course, they don't always offer the lowest cost or the best flights and whatever. But what I found is that it's a very good idea to always check all three. And sometimes Amex Travel does have the best option. It is cheaper than all the flights on Google and everything you find on Expedia. Now, of course, you do have to look a lot and you have to, find the right dates and stuff like that. But I do think it's a good platform. So if you just do it once a year where you book flight, a hotel, something like that, and particularly for hotels, there is a specific reason that you may want to do it with Amex Travel that we're going to get into. It's a little bit further down. It's one of the features that the card offers. So at least one hotel a year with Amex Travel, and you get the $200 annual travel credit. So you basically get $200 right back from the $800 that you spent. So really, you're only spending $600 out of pocket if you just know to use this credit every year. And again, remember, I told you guys, if you don't travel all that often, not at least like, let's say twice a year, then this card is probably not for you anyways, right? So if you are looking at getting the card, you probably do spend at least some money and you do go on travel, go on vacation at least twice a year. So really, you can definitely find at least one time a year where you can use Amex Travel either for a flight or a hotel. So really, everyone who gets this card should get this $200 annual travel credit easily. And because of that, you can really just assume that you're spending $600 out of pocket, given that this is there. Now, there's also another credit that almost everyone should be able to use, and that's the $200 annual dining credit. Now, the dining credit, the way it works is that one time a year, if you go to a specific number of restaurants, so there are some restaurants that Amex covers under their fine dining program or whatever it's called. And if you go to, and you can find the different restaurants very easily online, you can just go on Google and say Amex Platinum restaurants, and you should be able to find the list and see which ones your city is offering with. And there's usually a couple, and you can choose which one you like. And as long as you just go there one time a year and spend $200 or more in just one setting, it has to be in one time that you go there, then you can apply the $200 annual dining credit to that experience, right? So this would be a very good way or a very good feature for whether it's Valentine's Day, whether it's, you're taking someone on a date, maybe not the first date because it's a little bit of money, but you're taking someone very special on a date. It could be an anniversary treat. You could maybe take friends to dinner. You can maybe take business partners for a very nice dinner or something like that. You can definitely find a very good way to use this and, take either a special someone or take your business partners to a very nice meal, treat them to a very nice meal. And the great thing about it is that it will be covered by the card, right? So most people have to spend money on a Valentine's Day dinner with their special someone. Most people have to go on an anniversary dinner. Most people have to, at some point, have a business dinner or business lunch or something. So if that happens just one time a year and you go to one of those restaurants, you get this $200 credit back right away, right? So again, if you're just cognizant of it, everyone should be able to find a way to get this $200 back as well on money that they would have spent anyways. So you add the $200 annual travel credit and the $200 annual dining credit, and right there, you've already got $400 back of the money that you spent on this card every single year. Now, the card does also offer other small time offers from time to time, or specific offers to your region. For example, stuff that I've seen, and I'll try to put up some screenshots here for you guys to see as well, that I'm not making this up, but this has actually happened to me on the Amex app, and I've accepted the offers. One was that I got $60 off for my annual Disney Plus subscription, and again, that's something that I'm spending money on anyways, so the fact that I got that is like another $60 that I'm getting back from the $800 that I've spent, right? There was a number of other ones. There was some Lululemon credits. If you buy anything from them, that could be another way to get money back. There was a bunch of others. Of Instacart, I believe, offered it to me, and a bunch of other ones. I'll put some screenshots up here for you guys to see. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head, but it does happen from time to time. They do show some different offers in the app, and if that's something that you're already using, you can just register for it and get that credit, right? So there is definitely even more than the $400 right here that you can get back just from those credits. So right there, you're getting back a lot of the amount that you're spending on the card right away. But what else do you get with this card? What other features does it offer? Now, one of the most amazing features about this card is the global lounge collection. Now, this is probably the most extensive lounge collection out of any card that you can find, at least here in Canada. And what they basically do is that they give you unlimited access. So that means no matter how many times you go, you can still go there for free, to more than 1,400 lounges at more than 500 airports in over 140 countries. So basically, unless you're traveling to somewhere really weird and out of the ordinary, almost anywhere you travel to, that airport will have some lounge that is covered by this card that you can go to for free. And for most of them, you can also take a guest. I know for the Amex Lounges, at least for the Canadian cards, they allow you up to 2 guests for free. For a lot of the other lounges, they offer you 1 guest for free. And there are a couple that don't allow you to take guests with you, but those are very few and far in between. Those are some of the more luxurious lounges, like the Chase Lounge that I just recently went to in New York. That one didn't allow you to take guests with you. And that one, because it's a more luxurious one, they only allow you to go like once a year or something like that for free. But most other places, you can go unlimited times for free and take at least 1 guest with you. And in my experience, this is an absolutely amazing feature to have. Now, there are specific lounges here that are only available to you if you have the Platinum Card or the Black Card, which is the even more expensive Amex card, the invite-only $10,000 card. I'm assuming none of you guys are going to get that one. So if you put that aside, the Platinum Card is the only option you have to go to at least the Amex Centurion lounges, which are very good lounges, some of the better ones. And given that you get all of that value, and again, these lounges, they all have very good food. They have free complimentary drinks. They have all sorts of stuff. That's a very good, nice area to relax before your flight. And you don't have to sit at the gates where there's barely any seats available or stuff like that. It's a very good experience. But that said, I do want to say this, that some of the lounges have been a little bit more full recently. And there have been times where I've had to, not at the Amex Lounge, but at other lounges, there have been times where I've had to stand in line for like half an hour before I can get in the lounge because it was so full. At the Amex Lounges, there's usually not a line, or at least I haven't seen one. But I have seen, for example, the Miami Lounge that I was at a while ago, like 6-7 months ago. It was so busy, and my flight was actually early in the morning, so I was there quite early. So I thought it would be fairly empty, but it was actually so full of people. It was crazy. There was barely any space to sit down and just relax, have some food or whatever. But overall, it's a very good feature to have. And again, even in those cases, I've seen a lot of people, because I've made videos about that, at least shorts about, sometimes the lounges are kind of full and stuff like that. And the feedback that I get from most people is that, yeah, true, but it's still much better than sitting at the gates, which is, of course, very true. And of course, the amount of value that you get, the free food, the free drinks, they do add up, especially if you go and travel quite a number of times a year, especially if you have layovers, right? So if you just have an outbound flight, you can be at the lounge up to 3 hours before your flight. But if you have a layover, you can spend the entire time at the lounge and it's no problem. Now, the Nexus program is a really good program if you live in Canada and you travel to US a lot, whether it's for business or for personal reasons, or you have family there, whatever, or you just really like traveling in the US for no particular reason. In those cases, this program might be a very good program to enroll into, because what it does is that it pre-approves you for travel from Canada to the US. So you don't have to go through security and having to answer a lot of questions every single time you're going from Canada to US. And basically you just do it one time. You fill out an application. There's usually like an interview that happens, whether it's in person or not. It depends on the situation, I believe. But they do one interview with you. And then after that, they just, if there's no problem, of course, they approve you. And then from that point, you're good to go, right? Like every time you can just show that you're a Nexus member and it'll be a lot faster. You can just get through the security and everything. You don't have to be interviewed every time. It does cost like $50, something like that, $50 USD, I believe, to fill out that application. And if you have the Platinum card and you use that to pay for it, they reimburse you for that application fee up to $100 Canadian. Now, there's also other benefits. We have the fine hotels and resorts, and these are really good benefits where if you book your travel and specifically your hotel through Amex Travel, you do get a lot of value for free just because you are an Amex Platinum member, and if that hotel particularly is enrolled into the Fine Hotels and Resorts program, which is basically a program where, Amex has deals with a bunch of hotels, and these are the more luxurious hotels at any city. And basically they have deals to offer a bunch of extra features just for the Platinum card members only. So this is stuff like free late checkout, free early check-in. A lot of them have $100 USD free credit towards dining or spa or whatever other use you want to do with it. You get that fee, or you get that credit at the resort. You also get a bunch of other stuff, like sometimes you get the breakfast. It's all laid out for each hotel what they offer, but it really depends on if the hotel itself has that. Like some hotels just don't offer breakfast. For those, you would just get the credit instead. Of course, Wi-Fi, if any of those hotels charge for Wi-Fi, it won't be charged for you. It will be free for you because you're an Amex Platinum member. And basically stuff like that. And of course, room upgrades if they are available. So just right there, you can get a lot of value just because you're a Platinum card member if you are going to those kinds of hotels. Now, this does mostly offer to luxurious hotels. So if you don't stay at super luxury hotels, this probably wouldn't apply to you. So I just want to make that very clear. But you do get some other stuff down here, which could be, honestly, this is much more useful for the average person. And I have used these a lot more than the Fine Hotels and Resorts program. Now, this one, you get the Hilton Honors Gold status and the Marriott Gold Elite status for free without having to do anything to qualify, just because you have the Platinum card. Now, these are absolutely amazing because particularly when I was traveling this last time, I got the Hilton Honors Gold status, and I got that because I am a Platinum card member. And I was able to use that to get a bunch of stuff at these hotels. So I got a free upgrade. I did get free late checkout at all the hotels that I stayed at. I stayed at a bunch of Hiltons at the different places I was going to. And it was amazing. And just because I was a Platinum card holder, I was able to get all that value. And on top of that, they also gave me $36 USD per day that I was staying towards dining credits. So I was also able to get a bunch of free meals there as well. So it was absolutely amazing. And that's what I love about getting these gold statuses for free. And, you also get a bunch of stuff like that at the Marriott hotels. So this particular one, I think, is a much better feature. And, the Hilton hotels and the Marriott hotels, they're not always super luxurious. There are definitely luxurious versions of them too, but particularly with Hilton, you can also find a lot of good average hotels, if you may, or maybe slightly above average, where it's still not like crazy levels of expensive. And you can still get all those features with them as well, just because you get this gold status for free. So this particular one is what I found to be the most valuable feature when it comes to hotels with the Platinum Card. And you know, there are not many cards that offer this to you, at least none that I can recall off the top of my head. Even the Hilton credit card that the Amex offers in the US, you have to get like the super expensive one to get gold or diamond status. With Marriott Bonvoy, there is a Marriott Bonvoy card that Amex has in Canada, and that one doesn't offer you gold, it offers you silver. But here we get the gold with the Platinum Card. So it's really good. And if you stay at either of these hotels, this will be a huge game changer for you. And again, you get this for being a Platinum Card holder. There are some benefits at the Toronto Pearson International Airport. Now, I don't go to Toronto that often, but if you do, it's there. I've never used this, so yeah, don't really have much to add there. And yes, exclusive offers. Like I mentioned, I got $60 off of Disney Plus. I got like a bunch of amounts off of Lululemon, Instacart, stuff like that. So you get those as well every once in a while, and you can just make sure you register to your card and get that statement credit as soon as you use it. Now, we talked about the $200 dining credit. You should be able to get that every single year and easily get it right back. $200 or more in additional value with Members Extra. So again, this is very similar to, you know, those qualifying purchases for specific things. You get those offers from time to time. If you make those purchases, you get that value back. There's the Global Dining Collection, and that's, you know, those restaurants that we talked about. And also on top of that, with the Global Dining Collection, one of the benefits is that you always get priority reservation because you're a Platinum Card member. So if you go to any of those hotels, and you know you want a reservation, but there's no reservation available, you can just ring up your concierge, which is the next thing we're going to talk about, and they will be able to get you a reservation in that place without any problem, because you know Platinum Card members always get priority treatment at those particular places because Amex has contracts with all those restaurants. Now, the Platinum Card Concierge, this is an amazing feature. This is basically like a personal assistant that you have that you can call up at any time, and they will take care of any requests that you have that is legal, basically, right? So if, let's say, there's a concert that's coming up and you want someone to get you tickets as soon as the tickets go on sale, you can bring up your concierge and they will take care of that for you. They will get the tickets as soon as they go online. If you want someone to, you know, book a table for you at a very crowded restaurant where there may not be any tables available, or you want someone to be able to find a table like between 3-4 different restaurants and call all of them, see which ones have tables available, but you don't want to go through the hassle of calling all these places. You can just call your concierge. They will take care of all of that for you. If you want to, you know, book travel and you want someone to like check prices every day for you because you don't want to do it yourself, you don't want to hop on the website every single day and see what the prices are, you can get your concierge to do that for you. So there's a lot of different things that you can ask your concierge and they will help you out. There are some extreme examples, like sometimes people are in need of clothes in very exposing situations and they call their concierge and they get helped. I don't know if those are true. I've heard of these stories, but I wouldn't be shocked if they do it because they are very good and they take customer service to the next level. So the concierge service, definitely a very good service that this card offers. Now, we talked about the points that you get with this card and how you can redeem them. Now, I do want to mention something that I was talking about earlier, which is that if you redeem them with partners, such as whether it's Aeroplan, Flying Blue Miles, or other airline loyalty programs, basically to any of these that you want to transfer your points, you can just transfer your points at a 1-to-1 ratio. So for example, if you have 100,000 points on your Amex card and you want to use them with Flying Blue Miles because you want to book travel to Europe, for example, then what you can do is you can transfer your 100,000 points at the 1-to-1 ratio and get 100,000 points on your Flying Blue Miles account. Now, this is a very good feature because at a lot of these places, you can redeem those points for a lot more than just the 1 cent per point value. For example, with the Flying Blue Miles, and again, I'll try to show some examples here. I believe I recorded some stuff because I want to put together a video about exactly how you can get the most amount on your points so you can get flights for, a much better deal than just buying it with cash. There was this one example where you could get a $5,000 business class flight to London from Vancouver, and you could get that for only 50,000 points plus $500. Now, in that particular example, and again, I'll try to show some footage here as well if I can find it. I believe I recorded some stuff for that. That one just shows you right there that instead of spending $5,000, you could have spent $500 plus 50,000 points, which basically means those 50,000 points are doing the work of $4,500 to get you that business class flight. Now, that means that you're redeeming each point at about 9 cents per point, which is crazy, right? Now, of course, you do have to look a little bit to find amazing deals like that. You're not going to find them every single day. But if you can find a deal even a third as good as that, that would mean, which those are much more frequent. You can find those with a little bit of effort, but you can find those easily. You don't have to like work every day for hours to find those. Then, even then, you would be getting 3 cents per point, which is just absolutely amazing, right? So if you can just use your points correctly and take them to the right partners, and again, I'll try to make a full video on exactly how to do that, then you can get so much value from these points, much more than just 1 cent per point. And that is an amazing feature that all Amex cards offer, where you can just transfer your points to all these partners. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you do have the no preset limit. And, you have flexible payment options, but, you should always pay your balance in full and right away because, you don't want to be paying any interest on your balance. Now, you do have all kinds of travel coverage. In fact, I'm just going to scroll through them real quick so you can see how many there are. There are so many. There is out of province emergency medical insurance or out of country emergency medical insurance up to $5 million for the first 15 days of your travel. There's trip cancellation insurance. And by the way, if you want to extend these insurances, let's say if you travel for a month and you want to make sure you're covered for the whole time, you can actually call your concierge and they will walk you through how you can do that, right? So you could pay just a little bit more and be covered for the 30 days, right? So and it same goes for any of these other coverages. If you want to extend the coverage or make it a little bit more, just give a ring to your concierge and they will help you out with that. There's trip cancellation insurance. There's trip interruption insurance, flight delay insurance, baggage delay insurance, hotel burglary insurance, lost or stolen baggage insurance, $500,000 travel accident insurance. So if there's any accidents, you can be covered. If there's accidental death or dismemberment, your family, if you, in the case that you die or a family member unfortunately passes away in a travel accident, you can get a huge lump sum for that just for being a Platinum Card member. Car rental theft and damage insurance, all that stuff. So you don't have to pay for car rental insurance when you go and rent a car because you've already got it to a certain amount with the Platinum Card. And of course, travel emergency assistance. Wherever you are, you can always call your concierge and let them know what's going on. Now, there are some other Amex experience features. Again, there's front of the line pre-sales, a lot of events that go on sale. You as a Platinum Card member, you get front of the line access to that, especially with your concierge. If you just call them up before the tickets go on sale, they can make sure to get you in with the front of the line access. There's front of the line reserved tickets. There's a bunch of other stuff here. There's entertainment dining. There's a couple of exclusive features where they make you feel kind of more like an on the in person, if you will. But yeah, these are not features that I've at least ever used. I don't know if they are that valuable, but they are there. If that floats your boat, then by all means. There is, as I mentioned, no spending limit. They really put this a bunch of times throughout this presentation, don't they? There's buyer's assurance protection. So that means that you get 1 additional year of warranty if you buy your device with the Platinum Card, right? So for example, let's say you buy a laptop with your Platinum Card and the laptop already has 1 year of warranty from the manufacturer or from the person selling it to you. Then for the first year, you're covered by them. For the second year, you will be covered by your Platinum Card, which is just a really nice feature to have. You also have the purchase protection plan, which means that for the first 120 days of buying something, in the event of accidental damage or even theft, you can get up to $1,000 back per occurrence, right? So let's say, again, you buy a new laptop for, let's say, $1,000, and, you know, it gets damaged, or if it gets stolen, let's say it gets stolen from you, you get that entire $1,000 back just by, you know, calling Amex, let them know what happened. And if you had bought it with your Platinum card, you get that $1,000 back. There's a world-class service. Their customer service is actually really good. They're always very fast to respond. You know, if you call the customer service, there's not really that much wait time or anything like that. A lot of other credit cards, which I'm not gonna name names, but a lot of other credit cards hold you on the line for over an hour. If you guys have seen my other videos, you know which bank I'm talking about. But I'll be nice. I won't name them here. But yeah, it's very nice that Amex doesn't really have wait time that much. They do usually do a wonderful job with their customer service in my experience. And of course, fraud protection and stuff like that, they're very easygoing with that. I had an incident a while ago and they took care of it. It was no problem. So yeah, very good customer service. Now they do have, as we mentioned, the Amex offers, where they do different offers, like the Disney Plus one that I mentioned. There is the Amex Travel that you can use because you're an Amex card holder. And, you know, all together, you just get so much value with all these different features, all these different things that you get with the card, that honestly, if you are someone who travels even twice a year, I would say, this card is definitely a card that you want to look into, because you get so much value in so many different occasions with this card that I really think everyone should just at least take a look at it and see if it's for you. Now, as always, I do have a referral link to all these cards that I talk about. If you are looking into getting this card, or at least considering getting it, you can use my referral link down in the description below, where if you use that link, you would also be supporting the channel in the meantime, which I always appreciate. And, you know, just take a look at the card, see if it's something that's for you. And if it is, I can say, as someone who has been using the card for a while, that I think it's really good, and you get so much value back that it is worth the $800, even though I completely agree $800 is a lot to pay for a credit card. But in this particular situation, you get so much back, especially given that you get $400 back right away right here, and you get a bunch of other offers that maybe recover another $50, $100 or something like that as well. And then for the rest of the money that you're spending, you get so many amazing features, like all the travel features, all the coverages, you know, the personal concierge, the front of the line ticket access, all that stuff. You just get so much that I think it is worth making that investment. And it is a very good card. And of course, it's a metal card, so you can just show it off as well. You can just, I love the sound it makes when I throw it on a table, specifically if you go out to dinner with a couple of friends or business partners and stuff like that. And it's funny. I do it as a joke. I don't do it like seriously, but I always pull it out and I just drop it on the table, let it make a sound, and it's kind of funny that way. But yeah, that's about it. Let me know if you guys have any questions about this card, and also, did you like this more in-depth format where I go through every single little detail? Let me know, because if you do, I would like to make more videos like this where I go over other cards in full depth and not missing any little detail. And also sharing my experiences with the cards that I've had. Like, for example, the Cobalt card. I know a lot of people want me to explain how I use the Cobalt card and my own experiences with it. So that's stuff that I'm looking into doing. So definitely let me know if this is something that you enjoyed. And of course, if you haven't seen my video where I ranked every single credit card in Canada, I will leave a link to it up here. It's an amazing, in my opinion, or I will leave a link to it up here somewhere. It's a really amazing undertaking for me, and I tried to cover all the credit cards I could. There's like one or two I missed, and we talked about those in the comments. But if you want to get a general overview of how credit cards are in Canada, you can check out that video as well. But that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.